the Niners have a whole new modus operandi right now, and it probably coincides with the rise of Paraag to power once again. If they're going to be fiscally responsible, that's essentially his job in the organization, is to make the money work. And if that's true and his stock is up, whose stock do you think is down in a corresponding move, and who needs to be careful or do well?
It's John Lynch. Before this shift, John Lynch maybe was boots on the ground for Kyle. Kyle kind of gave final decision, and we always said it as such, right? Kyle is final saying word, which kind of implied that John is doing all of the work, right? John's putting out the leg work, helping Kyle, deliberating with Kyle on what he's doing as far as scouting is concerned, looking at free agency, being a face, being that voice on the phone to be able to reach out to certain GMs across the league to strike deals, and also to be kind of like an arbiter of how these guys should get paid, right? Like, hey, I'm the syntax guy. I can tell you what these guys are doing on the field and how it marries into the negotiation room in real dollars. I'm the guy that can translate that. I don't really see a job skill set for him anymore now that Paraag is kind of taking all of that over. I mean, right now, in a way, the only thing that worries me about John is that I feel like John will be a sacrificial lamb if Kyle fails, right? There's a lot of things surrounding Kyle's process in order for him to get the job. One of those first shoes have dropped with you've lost total power. Like the total power is over. So now you've actually have to work with the building. The next move may not be actually direct on Kyle. It may be, all right, well, we got to get a traditional GM in here now. Let's go ahead and get rid of John. I just don't see what John's job description is now that Paraag is kind of reasserting himself over the past years where he hasn't.
And the thing with Kyle, like his job security, if the 49ers were to fire him, like they're trying to save money, and really firing a coach is very expensive because their salaries are guaranteed. So if the Niners were to fire Kyle after this upcoming year because he missed the playoffs again, he could say, I'm going to take 2 years off and you'll have to pay me $14 million a year to do absolutely nothing. And then when my contract's finally up and you're done paying me to do absolutely nothing, then I'll get back into coaching. But in the meantime, I'll get a podcast. I'll go on Colin Cowherd. I'll develop a personality. Yeah. I'll grow my hair. I can do whatever the hell I want. So it's expensive to fire a coach, because now you're paying him and another coach. Ben Johnson's making $13 million a year. I mean, the going rate for a hot coach is a lot. So maybe they say, yeah, we'll fire John. And what we'll do is we'll keep constricting Kyle's budget until he either wins or quits.
Yeah.
Because he has walked away from a team before. He walked away from the Browns. And if they trade Brock, I wonder if Kyle would think about it. Now, he has Mac Jones. Maybe he's happy now, but
he may fire up the old PowerPoint. That's what he did. You know that, right?
85 reasons why you need to let me out of my contract. All right, well, we don't want to pay you anyway.
He gave a 20-slide presentation on why. It was like a 25, 35 slide presentation on why he was not going to coach Johnny Manziel or be the offensive coordinator for the Browns anymore.
Yeah.
I'm never getting a presentation to quit. Maybe to get hired.
He said, I don't want to do this. So it's in him. And if the Niners, that's what I'm thinking. Like, I can't wait to hear Kyle's take on this at the owners' meetings, because John talked about it at the combine. He's like, oh, it's just the natural circle of life in the NFL, and our owners, they've been spending, and they're so great, and it's okay. Kyle's not going to be able to hide it if he hates it.
Hell nah.
Nah.
But I will tell you this, though. If he's on his best behavior in the owners' meetings, then his ass is on the hot seat.
That's true.
If
he's like bright-eyed and bushy-tailed at 7 a.m, and he's ready to go. Like, what is this?
If he's kind of like, hey, man, I don't have a problem talking about this at all. Almost kind of like leaning in, like, I want this to be on camera. I want them to see me okay with this. Then I do have a feeling that they probably had some conversation with him. Like, not only are we going to kind of like purge the process, not only are we going to tighten the purse strings, not only are we going to put your would-be successor on your staff in Robert Saleh, but you better smile about it the whole way through. and we better not see one iota of discernment from you, or of contention from you at all.
See, the Kyle I know would be, I mean, he'd be damned before he would bend the knee to anyone. You know what I mean? Like, if he actually does this, I'd be kind of disappointed in Kyle. Like, you're the kind of guy who would quit before you would ever let your ego down. Like, this is your ego. You've worked so hard at cultivating it for so long. I mean, you can't abandon your ego now. It's your best friend.
I mean, it's like Batman watching Joker like become like a stay-at-home soccer dad. It's like, dude, you're giving it up? Like,
we agreed to do this forever.
Like, what is this? Like, you went domestic?